Hello and welcome to my presentation. Today we're going to talk about what it's like to be a certified nursing assistant and what it all comes with. In this type of career, there comes with many risks that you have to be aware of. You have many tasks that need to be completed during and after your shift, and also you need to have an open heart and open hands to your patients because with this field, you have a lot of one-on-one time with your patients who are very sick, very lonely, and all they want to do is either talk or they want to feel like they're appreciated, and that's what our job is. During this presentation, I want you to remember one thing. The love and care that you show yourself reflects onto your patients. So if you're having a great day, it'll show to your patients you're having a great day. But if you're having, an off day where you're just not feeling it, then you start to treat your patients like you're not feeling it and they become feeling unwanted or very angry because they're there to get help and you're not helping them. What other job could you work being overly loving or caring and open arms to help with anything that they need? This would be that job. Um, I'm going to base my speech on my personal experiences, being I am a CNA, and anything that comes with it, I'll be sure to discuss with you. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is the risk. Being a CNA working in a hospital, you have many guidelines that you have to follow. You have to be careful of patient safety. Most patients are labeled and in their charts that they are either fall risk or a name alert, some sort of protection that we need to be aware of. That way, if we spot something unusual, we can fix it. Another risk that we have to be aware of is definitely the privacy of our patients because they are there on their own free will and they may not want certain people to know what's going on with them, whether it's a touchy subject or they're just not ready to tell somebody. Another thing that we need to be careful of is how we come across to our patients. That falls again too with our attitude. Um, we need to be welcoming and upbeat, and we have to have them notice that we are there for them and that we are not there to start a fight or be angry with them because they did nothing wrong. The second thing we're going to talk about is the workload. Now, each day is different, but they all have the same concept. You have so much work to do in very short little of time, so you need to make sure that once you are there, you are starting your task. For example, I work 7P to 7A, so the first 2 hours I have to do vitals and make sure all my patients are set for the night. And we do vitals every 4 hours, so 7, 11, 3, and morning shift will get the 7A. Between that time frame, we have vitals, we have to check their blood sugar, we have to change diapers on any of the patients who wear them, we have to provide anything that the patients need, we help nurses. So being 12 hours seems like you have a long time to do what you need to do, but in reality you really don't because once those 2 hours are done and 9 o'clock hits, that's when your workload picks up and you have so much more to do. Now, don't get me wrong, some nights are very calm and simple, but depending on what floor you work, I'm afloat, so I go to different floors. Some floors, I'm on my feet all 12 hours. So having a heavy workload helps pass the time, but you will be swamped with what you have to do. You have to be able to multitask. You can walk down the hall with something in your mind, but then a nurse comes down the hall and says, "Hey, can you do da 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 da?" And you're like, sure. So you have to be able to remember what she said and then balance which one has a higher priority that you need to do in order to get the job done in a reasonable time and fashion. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about for your workload is working as a team. When you're in this field or any kind of field, working as a team will get the job done a lot smoother and probably a lot quicker. Now, being a CNA, we always welcome help. We have patients who are heavy, who are amputees, or, they cannot help yet, they're not strong enough. So, my size, I always, not always, but majority of the time need help with the heavier set patients because when I'm in training, they teach us for body mechanics, and when I hold the patient, it gets very straining on my back or anybody's back. So having that second person there will help a lot, and you will notice a difference. The last thing we're going to talk about is your open heart. Being in a hospital setting or any type of nursing assistant position, you have to have the most warmest open heart out of anybody in the hospital. Our job is to provide care for the patient, and they need to feel like they can confide in us because they are very sick. They are either lonely with no family coming to visit, or they just need to talk. I've had patients who are very happy and stuff, but they still feel like I need to talk to somebody, but my family's not quite ready. So you have to be open ears to listen. Our job is mainly for the patient. We listen to all sorts of stories, all sorts of situations. We are not there to judge. We are there to have them feel a sense of relief that they have found somebody who understands and doesn't feel like they're being bothered. Another thing we're going to talk about is you have patients who are close to dying or are very, very sick and they have not much longer. They need a shoulder, excuse me, to lean on if they want to cry or if they just need a hug. You know, I give so many hugs out to my patients because they feel comfortable with me, with what they've told me. You know, patients want that touch, they want the feeling of care. They just love the attention. Now, we're going to wrap up with some final thoughts here. Now that you've seen what it's like in the life of a certified nursing assistant, do you think you can handle it? Do you think you have the heart and the strength to do what I do? In the end, you may have a ton of work. You have tons of struggles and tons of times where you want to give up. But is your heart warm enough to allow you not to give up? My job is hard, but in the end, it is so worth the entire things I go through. All of the pain, all of the headaches, all of the stress. I wouldn't change it for the world. My patients are my life, and their happiness is my happiness. Is your heart open to giving love and care to the patients when they are in need? When they need that strength for themselves to pick them up when they're feeling down? Could you manage the risks and hard work that comes with this job? How do you think you would handle it? Being a certified nursing assistant is not what everyone thinks it is. This is the most touching, heartwarming job other than the nasty work. I wouldn't trade it for the world, like I said. So, with that being said, you know what it's like to be a certified nursing assistant, how it has hard work, you have to have an open heart, and the risk factors that you have to be aware of. Any questions?